I just had a couple of questions following up on Joan's report. What is the status of the ADR policy? I know you said it was bundled with the XSpot, and since the XSpot didn't pass, then that also...
The change to include ADR did not pass because the item as a whole was brought forward and was not approved. So we're looking at bringing that back as we go through our first governance meeting this
So just
September.
the ADR portion?
Yes.
So you're looking to break it off from the...
Right, we'll
the
bring it
bundle.
back as an individual item.
Okay.
Because the superintendents had expressed support for that.
Okay, thanks. And then, speaking, I recall that XSpot discussion at the Superintendent's Council meeting involved a concern about a reduced number of students being in the WESELPA and the ADA of options for youth. Can you elaborate on what happened to the options for youth? I think it was like 2,000 ADA that is no longer in the WESELPA, because I know there was a lot of discussion on that from the superintendents, and maybe some of the CAC members would like an update on that.
Options for Youth was a charter school. It was an independent charter school that was chartered. This particular branch was chartered by Upland School District. There are a number of options for youth throughout the state, charters. And I believe Upland chose not to renew the charter. And I don't think that was maybe a unilateral decision, because the year before, Options for Youth had attempted to be chartered through East St. Gabriel, and actually there was a state investigation into the fact that they hadn't given a year's notice in changing their charter affiliation. So that charter left the WESELPA, and so the ADA related to that charter left the WESELPA. But in addition to that, there's been a pattern of declining enrollment due to housing issues, as well as just people moving out of the area to less expensive areas. We've seen a decline over a number of years.
I think some districts have implemented home study programs on their own as well, their own in-district home school programs that have taken up some of that, right?
Yes, I mean, districts do have independent study programs and homeschool programs as well. And I think basically many of them are an effort to compete with some of these charter options, because districts, some districts have lost substantial ADA. Los Angeles County has a very large number of charters and restructured their WESELPA to address that issue this past year.
Thanks. And then I just had one more question on that. One comment is to make the trainings that you have at the WESELPA, if it's for like para-educators, make that open to parents also. So that if a parent wants to come in, a lot of the times consistency is key. Whatever is being done in the classroom or whatever is being done at home needs to be transferred to the classroom, or vice versa, whatever's working. So it would be great if the parents could also be in the loop, so they can be participants and they can receive the same information that the staff is receiving.
These trainings are not specific to individual children's school program. This is a more broad base. So, what is an IEP? So that they understand, the requirements of an IEP, where they need to look to be sure they're implementing the IEP appropriately. But there are some, when we have staff go out and do training specific to a child, very often parents may be part of that team and, come and learn those same strategies.
Well, I think parents, I've attended meetings here at the WESELPA, so I think parents would benefit from that overview as well. Yeah.
This is operated as an institute for paraeducators. There's always that balance between, having people come together with a job alike where they feel comfortable, and sharing their concerns, as well as, so teachers, teachers also, while obviously you need a team approach, they're not members of this institute. Because this is for paraeducators to get their questions answered and to ensure that, they're being able to ask whatever questions they have and not feel like, gee, I should have known that and been asking a dumb question. So, we want a safe place for them to learn as well.
My son has had many lunch problems when it comes to a district lunch quantity. Most of them are untrained, and it's not just my child, it's exactly that. Of course, I have other parents, but I have noticed that my district and other districts, the lunch quantity is not getting trained. And, as a parent, I would like to be on the same page, whatever they're doing in school. I want to do them at home, so it will mirror the same kind of consequences or rewards, or how will they go ahead and redirect them. But most of the times, I know, my experience, I have had to tell the lunch one aides how to redirect them or how to make them feel comfortable, or if he's doing this, that means that he's accomplished. And things like that
For her
that
son,
make
he has a lot of behaviors, she couldn't attend it.
So, yeah, we should be looking at too. Also, I know there's a lot of college graduates right now that have part-time finance. Make it open to other young adults that want to maybe go into that field. Maybe their interest is there and they want to pursue a career in special education.
Martina, I have a comment. A parent from the Altaloma School District actually came to a superintendent's council a couple months ago in May or April and mentioned wanting to go to a training that's here because her child has a lot of behaviors and they have a SELPA training, I think it's called CPI.
It's a great behavioral program. I went through it.
No, I mean, this is one specifically how to help children who are having behaviors that are out of control, to restrain them in a way that's not going to hurt them. And they give that to staff here at SELPA, but she was not allowed to go as a parent. So that's just kind of on the same thing of what you guys talking about.
There are certain trainings where we do have restrictions. CPI is a national training, and our trainers, their training agreement is that they may only train staff within our SELPA. In fact, we just had a request from LA Unified for a person who was a victim in LA Unified who, in order to maintain their certification, needed this training and couldn't get it by the time he needed, and we had to turn them down. So there are certain trainings that are not open to everybody, but the majority of our trainings are. And I think too, those follow-ups where you're doing on-site in regard to your individual child, you can certainly ask, if you know the program specialist is going to be there training, you can certainly ask to be part of that.
I kind of see both the sides. I agree with the parents that say I'd like to be there to see what they're being trained, how they're being trained, but I also agree with the SELPA saying they need a safe place where they can come and ask questions where they're not going to offend as parents, because we get easily offended when you say something that I get easily offended. When you say something that is derogatory, maybe about my child's disability, so I think they need, that the paraeducators need a safe place to go ask all their questions, get educated, but I would also like to see maybe part of that session, part of their training, be where the parents can come and have 30 or 45 minutes to help to educate them on how to deal with our children of all different disabilities, because you don't know how to deal with someone unless you've done it. And the professionals can tell you here are ways that work, but no one can tell you how to deal with your child like you can. This is what will work, and if they can get, the paraeducators can get a feel for how we deal with our children, that kind of hands-on experience might be helpful to them. That's just part of their training, maybe, if there's time in the schedule. That just might be
right. That might be
benefit.
probably something you would do on site, maybe after, or even at the beginning of the school year. I know.
It's not like if you get, this is going to be your one-on-one aid, and then you get time. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Right. Sometimes.
One-on-one aid.
I know that a number of the parent, websites, national websites that provide parent support often have like outlines of, information that perhaps parents should bring to their teachers or their, aides at the beginning of the year, or at any time when perhaps, a change is occurring for your child, so a one-to-one aide has been assigned, and so, and I would think, having a one-to-one aide is a pretty restrictive kind of thing, that there should be some ongoing meetings to kind of make sure it's
There
working.
should be. There would be with mine if I had one, because I'm that parent, but I don't know that all the parents get that involved, and I think those educators are, I sometimes thinking they don't know how to handle a situation, haven't been properly instructed.
What about the idea, many districts that I've been in have used, essentially the program specialists for districts as the trainers to take training and then be able to provide training for parents. So we have a capacity building within the parent community as well. Is that an idea that you thought about?
We have a program, we have two programs. One of them is our clinical parent training program. It's a 12-week program that basically goes over the basics of, structure, reinforcement, how to set up a token economy, how to set up a reinforcement system in your home. And one of the sessions actually also encourages you to bring your teacher to that session so that you could do some talk about coordination between home and school. And so we offer that in the spring and the fall, both in Spanish and in English. And probably a lot of the same things are covered in these trainings. Actually, the clinical parent training perhaps goes into a little more detailed definition.
But I'm thinking more beyond, in light of the diversity of trainings available, and some of which are restricted to professionals, that there would be some mechanism established so that we have implications for parents as part of that specific training, so that we have whatever is being taught to the professionals is somehow shared with the parent community, perhaps even with the instructional assistant community as well, so that everybody's on the same page. I think that's the message
Yeah.
we're
Right.
trying to
Yeah, and my comment is basically equal access. I mean, I don't know what parent is going to find what training useful. Obviously, a parent that doesn't have a one-on-one aide is not going to find the para-educator training useful. But as long as they're equal access, I mean, Joan had a comment which, frankly, I have a concern with about referring the parents to the other organizations, so that we get the sense that the CELPA is servicing the staff people, and then the parents need to go elsewhere. And I think we need to develop the mentality that CELPA is for everyone, and the parents are an integral part of that community, and just give it equal access, and let the parents decide if that's a training they want to attend. But personally, I've come to trainings at the CELPA, and I've been denied access, even after paying my own way, and receiving a confirmation number. And when I walk in the door, they say, this is only for staff people. So I think that needs to change, because we're the community, we pay taxes, this is supposed to be a service agency, and the service is supposed to be for everyone, not just the staff. So I think, if we could work on that, that would be really great.
Yeah, I know, I have personally gone to LA, gone to Pasadena to get work out of my own pocket, and I don't mind, because I want that training, I want to know how my work is done. But yeah, I attended an OT session, I'm not an OT, but I just want ideas so my son will be independent. And so those are like great workshops, but I have to go to LA, there's nothing local here, so yeah, I would like to have workshops, training sessions in this area. And I mean, I'm sorry, you basically they teach the class and you sit quietly there and you listen and take notes. You're not engaging the presenter with a million things. I mean, maybe at the last portion of the presentation should give you 10 minutes, and that's what they're asking